friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today I would like to talk about the future of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And what I'm specifically referring to is the near future of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and what we can expect in the next 6 months. Now what I'm going to do in this video is talk about the different clues that have been dropped since April 1st of this year. Now, if you don't go to Reddit very often, then you may have missed this, but CG Carey responded to something, and it kind of needs to be talked about. And I'm not sure if a lot of you have seen this or a lot of you have gone through this. And it's her response to the marquee events, right? So if you guys don't know, CG Carey is the community manager for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the forum. She's really cool. She's a really nice person. And she's talking about, wow, we have done so many marquee events. Why? You know, and if you saw Cub Fan Han's video, you saw the Galaxy of Marquee. It's a pretty great video. I'm featured in it very briefly, but it's worth the view, definitely. But what's awesome is she kind of talks about what their purpose was with the marquee events, and the idea was to make everything standardized stuff. And then she goes down, and there's something that is very important to notice in her comments here. She says, "We have always planned to bring out more legendary and hero journey like adventures in the second half of this year." And when I say half, our fiscal year starts April 1st, so the marquee March for me starts with Bosk. The mistake I made was that we should have interspersed them more between the marquees to give you guys a break, right? So it's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have just given you all these marquees, now then all these legendary events. We should have done them both. But what she's really saying is the latter half of this year, so from today until the end of next March, it is likely that we're going to see a handful of legendary events, new legendary characters, and quite possibly 1 or 2 hero journeys. But what I want to talk about is looking at the material here. She continues later on, she says, now it's marquee ad infinitum, and hopefully a decent amount of legendaries and other fun stuff that you're already on track to farming. You guys are smart, and we've laid out clues, so you know. What is she referring to? Revan, of course. No, not Revan. Maybe not Revan. I don't know. I don't believe Revan sooner rather than later. It is possible that we could get a Revan the latter half of this year. Right off the bat, new scoundrels. We got a ton of them. We've got Solo. We've got a young Han. We've got Kira, Infist Nest, L337. We've got Lando. We have these characters. They're solid characters. I mean, you may not like them, but they are now completely farmable, which means we could see something, anything, from the Solo film that would lead us to a hero's journey or a legendary event or something. Now, what I would love to see is a legendary event that, you know, gave us someone like Voss, Dryden Voss. That would be awesome. I think Voss would be really cool. His mechanics would probably look a lot like something you'd see from like a Night Sister, you know, just jumping in and slicing people up with those little katanas on his hands, his brass knuckles.
Putting together crew. You need my top lieutenant.
But then that could lead up to our first villain journey with Darth Maul, or as he would be known at that time, just Maul. The thing that I would think is really cool about this, and the reason I think that it's possible that we could get an older Maul, I don't think that we're going to get old Master. That would be sweet. I do think it's possible we still could get an old Master from Rebels, but it is more likely, it is more possible that we could get something else like a Maul, you know, Jimmy Legs Maul from Solo. I think that's very possible. And a legendary event leading into a heroic journey or a villain's journey would be awesome. I think that it would be absolutely possible and absolutely within the realm of consideration for them to do that. The question is, when would this happen? Now, if April 1st is their, you know, Q1 launch date for their fiscal year, then it's likely we probably wouldn't see anything until the end of, I don't know, till like the end of the year. Probably around the time, I would say, there probably would be building hype for it in November. They'd launch information for it in November and tell us that it's coming in November, but then actually launch it early to mid-December. That's what I'm thinking, right? Because that would be the end of their Q3, right? And the ultimate goal for Star Wars for any company is to make money at the end of the quarter. I mean, their ultimate goal is just to make money whenever, but they like to make money at the end of quarters because for whatever reason. But then the other option is, what are they going to be doing at the end of Q4? That would then give us, right now, that's another 3 months. That would give us enough time for the KOTOR characters to enter the farming pool. They would be part of the shard shuffle, right? And they've been really diligent about making sure that they stick to that shard shuffle calendar. I think it's possible that we could get a Revan introduced in February as a hero's journey or as a hero's event, a legendary event towards the end of their fiscal year. I mean, there's a few other things that really could pop up. We could see a Snoke. We could see a number of other characters, but their focus has been on 3 things: scoundrels, KOTOR, and bounty hunters. So if they decide not to do a Revan lead or a Revan legendary character or a Revan legendary event or a Revan heroic journey or whatever, it could very well be a tie-in to the season 7 of the Clone Wars. Now, we all know that the season 7 of the Clone Wars would tie in and finish up essentially what wasn't finished up. It's going to rely heavily on the Siege of Mandalore. We know that that's going to be a huge part of it, that's going to be a major a plot in the story. We know that it's going to tie up a lot of loose ends. Quite possibly, we could also see at that time a Zam Wessel rework with a Jango Fett. We could see the Separatist rework. Now, if that were the case, we could see that sooner rather than later. Maybe we'll see a Separatist rework in a Separatist legendary event. That would be something really cool if they don't go with the Clone Wars bounty hunters, because we do have a number of Clone Wars bounty hunters, but we also have a number of OG bounty hunters. If you look at the bounty hunters, we have Boba Fett, we have Dengar, we have Bosk, we have IG-88, we have Greedo. Those are 5 characters from the original trilogy. 4 of those 5 characters were under orders by Darth Vader to go after Jedi Luke. Could this be the introduction of our next Luke Skywalker? It is very possible. I think that the 3 legendary characters that they're going to be giving us, or it's possible that the 3 legendary characters that they're going to be looking for are Jedi Luke, Darth Maul, or Maul at the time, and quite possibly Revan. Now, I hesitate to say that it's Revan. I hesitate to believe that it's Revan because I don't think that it's going to be. However, it very well could be. What do you guys think we will be getting in the next couple of months? What do you want to be getting in the next couple of months? Leave a comment in the section below. Like, subscribe, share. I'm going to leave the full post of this, essentially the script of this, and a lot more of my thoughts and reasoning behind this on my website, which I'll leave a link to. Visit us, join us on Discord. Let's talk. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.